All right. This video I wanted to talk about. I've really been uh, paying a lot of attention to the use of predator drone strikes in Pakistan, Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen. Right. Pretty soon they're going to be raining down hellfire missiles on Los Angeles, California. Who knows, right? As a potential war crime or the possibility of committing an international or U.S. crime. And I made a video a while back, uh, not too long ago, I think a week, and it had to do with a article I came across with the ACLU that was actually suing Barack Obama by name, right? Even though his name is Barry Soetoro, an Indonesian citizen, uh, to get information on exactly under what justification how this intelligence is actually gathered to quantify the actual command to rain down missiles on Taliban insurgents in Pakistan. What justification is that exactly? What intelligence is gathered to prove that this particular group of people are in fact Taliban militants? And as we know, the death toll is continuously rising in Pakistan with civilians. And I actually read today, it was earlier this morning, suspected U.S. Predator drone strike kills 4 in northwest Pakistan. It's almost a daily thing. I would say that I come across these articles at 1.5 days. Okay, and that's just the information that I'm able to get, because sometimes the news doesn't cover it all. You got to go to foreign media outlets to get this information. So I came across an article today, and I'm going to put the article in the description. It's from the Raw story. Responding to lawsuit, U.S. justifies Predator drone program as self-defense. Okay. Now let's all just remember the mentality, the justification for self-defense has now become preemptive in nature. Okay. It's literally pre-crime. Okay. You may attack us in the future because of your suspected ideology. Therefore, we must kill you first. And that is the basic justification that the administration has responded to with this particular lawsuit. Is they pose a threat to us, even though they don't, right? Because they're on the other side of the fucking planet. They are claiming self-defense as a defense. Okay, this is how fucking absurd and ridiculous the situation is. These Predator drone strikes are self-defense, according to Barry Soetoro, the Obama administration, to murder these people. So I'm going to put the article in the description, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm sure you're more than willing and able to read. There are some literate Americans out there still. And I just want to read a very quick snippet from the article, though. With respect to the subject of targeting, right, which is the whole subject, right? How are these people being targeted for justified extermination, assassination, right, technically? Subject of targeting, which has been much commented on in the media and international legal circuses. Bullshit. It hasn't been commented on enough. Bullshit. There are obviously limits to what I can say publicly, he told Conference of the American Society of International Law. This has to do with this guy, Harold Cole, a State Department legal advisor, and he was an outspoken critic of the Bush administration. But then, of course, when Obama gets in, war is peace, right? Obama's just a big old peacenik liberal. And now you got this new pro-war liberal mentality, which is just unbelievable. It's doublespeak at its essence, all right? Its core. All right, what I can say is that this is the considered view of this administration. The considered view of this administration. The considered view. And it has certainly been my experience during my legal time as an advisor that U.S. targeting practices, including lethal operations conducted with the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, comply with all applicable law, including the laws of war. The CIA itself would not comment on the speech. and I'm putting the entire article in the description. Okay, the United States of America has been run by war criminals. Okay, for decades, and some would speculate longer. So, since I have been politically cognizant of exactly what is going on, it's a bipartisan issue. Corruption is like cancer. It doesn't care who it'll kill. Corruption is a bipartisan thing. And when people think someone's going to waltz into town and change things, and they actually just give it a new slant and make things worse in the long run, right? Because all you got to do is, a Predator drone strike kills a family of 12, and maybe there's some kin that survive. They're going to grow up with that deep-seated hatred for America. Muslim extremist mentality or not, just basic need for revenge, that insatiable human need to get back at the ones that have wronged them. So they're actually breeding a new generation of terrorists for this next generation, not my generation necessarily, of Americans and people in the West to deal with. So they're actually, you poke a dog with a fucking stick, eventually it's going to turn around and bite your ass. That's what they're doing, is they're poking too many dogs with too many fucking sticks. So I've definitely been paying attention to this issue, particularly with Pakistan, and the fact that we openly have military advisors on the ground, boots on the ground in Pakistan, because Pakistan is a nuclear-armed nation. Okay, that's why it's so important. Because all of this whole thing with Iran and preventing them from having nuclear weapons, well, Pakistan already does. They have up to 100. And they almost had a nuclear war with India in 2002. A lot of people don't remember that. In the beginning of 2002, they almost had a nuclear war. All right, they were very close, either side to actually committing. So stoking the flames of hatred in Pakistan, the ultimate goal is to cause division in Pakistan, to break apart Pakistan, to cause a peasants' uprising, so to speak, of there's various tribes. It's very complicated in Pakistan. I mean, look at Afghanistan. You've got hundreds of tribes, right? It's not exactly a country. But they want to break the populace away from the puppet government, right? So that eventually the U.S. can come in and possibly snag Pakistan nukes, right? And keep them safe. Of course, one or two will conveniently go missing, right? And that's the ultimate goal, is to destabilize Pakistan. It's also a proxy war against China to stop pipelines from being routed through Pakistan, and this is true as well. It's like I said, it's a broad scope. They never do these things for one reason. They didn't invade Iraq just for oil. They invaded Iraq for oil, for a strategic linchpin in the Middle East, right? Because the Middle East is Central Asia, okay? For a strategic foothold in the region, right? And then, of course, you've got the fact that Saddam Hussein decided to go ahead and trade oil with the euro, right? And then, of course, you have there's other peripheral reasons. Point is, they don't do things just for one reason. When they commit these kind of war crimes and just outright scammery on the world population, right? Then there's a multifaceted approach. They never do things for one reason. Okay, they do things for a multitude of reasons. So anyway, I just wanted to put that in there, and definitely keep an eye on this case. These people need to be charged with war crimes. All right, a criminal is a criminal. Okay, some guy goes out and stabs somebody to death, right? Take that guy, put him in prison. If he's guilty, put him down like an animal. The justice system. If world leaders are found to be guilty of war crimes, they need to go to prison. They need to be indicted for war crimes and put in prison. They need to stand at the Hague. Every now and then you hear about some Nazi guard that's found in Argentina or Central America or elsewhere in the world living under a different identity. And they're brought to justice eventually, right? So is there a statute of limitation on war crimes? I don't know. But if they're guilty of war crimes, they need to be indicted. An example needs to be made to stop other world leaders from doing the same thing in the future. All right? Fuck.